Alrighty, I said I would follow up my first video with something positive, and I think I've decided to make a really good video. I'm probably gonna redo this several times in the future, but this is the first time I'm gonna ever make a video about something like this. And what I'm gonna talk about is inspiration and motivation for the older athlete. And I'm not talking about necessarily professional. I'm talking about any people anywhere from like your late 30s to 50s. Because recently I joined, and this is mostly for like my friends and my bod groups and stuff like this. And so if you ever come across this video, this is for you. And the reason I want to talk about this is because, as a 25-year-old guy, I hear a lot from people, oh, the only reason you're successful is because you're young, or the only reason you're as fit as you are is because you're young. And what you have to understand is that, in general, based off of like data from science, a lot of young people can get away with eating more junk food on average, and they're usually stronger on average. However, that doesn't mean that you're given those things just because you're young. I mean, if you're in your mid-20s like me, I've never really had the hyperspeed metabolism to where I can just eat whatever I want and stay fit. I've had to pretty much diet my whole life and work out every day my whole life in order to get the results that I've had. And I know it's like that for a lot of other young people. But occasionally you'll meet those athletes who can pretty much eat whatever they want, pizza and Oreos and all that stuff, and not gain a single pound. But the problem is that a lot of people, especially older people, have the misconception that because they used to have hyperspeed metabolisms, or because they see a lot of other young people that have that, they think that all young people can just get away and eat with whatever they want. And the funny thing is that isn't true, because even if you're young, and even if you don't gain weight from that junk food, you still have to deal with other symptoms of eating poorly. Like, for example, you still risk getting high cholesterol and type 2 diabetes and that type of thing. If you eat junk food, you're still not going to have a lot of energy during the day. You're still going to feel sluggish. You're still going to have all of the negative symptoms of eating poorly. And so just because someone who's young doesn't get fat doesn't mean that they don't have to deal with all the other bad side effects of eating junk food. And so the reason this is gonna help inspire athletes that are older is because, as you get older, typically your metabolism isn't as fast or isn't as sharp, and so you have to diet more strictly in order to get the same results that you got when you were younger. However, what I want to tell older people who have to deal with this is that there's a lot of people, young people like myself, who have had to diet their whole lives in order to achieve any type of result. So don't ever feel bad by the fact that you have to watch what you eat, because whether you had to start focusing on your diet in your 30s or 40s, whenever your metabolism slowed down, you have to realize is that not every young person in the world has a hyperspeed metabolism. And so the second part of this video, and I'm not going to split this up, is that the second part, so the first part is I want to talk about, staying motivated to diet, because I know that's something that no one wants to deal with. But the second part is that what I want older athletes to realize too is that, let's say that you're a bodybuilder, or you're someone who used to run a lot, and let's say that your peak was in your 20s, when you used to run the fastest, or you used to lift the heaviest, and let's say that like you hit 30 or 40, and instead of being able to lift something insane, like, I'm just gonna go off on a guess here. Let's say that you used to bench like 225 pounds or 250 pounds, and now the maximum you can lift is 180 or 190. Although it sucks to see those numbers decrease, what you have to realize, and I could probably pull a real statistic here, but the average American in today's age is not fit. And I know that sounds kind of douchey for me to say, but obesity and unhealthiness really is an epidemic, epidemic in today's society. And even though you might not be where you were when you were in your 20s or even your early 30s, even now, like if you're still lifting weights, if you're still running, if you're still exercising on a regular basis, you have to realize that you're in much better shape than even the average American who's my age. Because I'm 25, so I'm like post-college, like grad student age. And there's this thing called the freshman 15, where when students start college, they gain 15 pounds. So honestly, if you're still like toned and ripped at age 30, 40, or 50, like you're much healthier than the average person who's my age or younger. I'm not sure what the real statistic is on this, but I remember in one of my Beachbody programs, the trainer mentioned that like a massive percent of people who start workout programs don't finish. And I've also remember hearing that a huge percent of people don't even exercise at all. And so what I wanted to, I guess the second message I wanted to hit home with the older athlete, like someone who's still exercising at age 30, 40, or 50, or mostly 40 and 50, because if you're 30, you're not really old, is that if you're in shape, if you're exercising on a regular basis, if you're living out your purpose, you're in much better shape than just the average American today, really, because so many people, in America just let themselves go. Like so many people. I mean, why do you think that, fast food restaurants thrive so greatly? It's because like no one wants to watch what they eat. Nobody wants to cook their own meals. Nobody wants to go through all that work. People want fast and easy drive-through. And the thing is that fitness, no matter how far the fitness industry has come, it's not a drive-through process. Even at its best, you still have to work out every day. You still have to diet every day. You still have to watch your calorie intake and all that stuff if you want to get results with any of the programs. So, that's just kind of my inspiration that I wanted to share today, is that if you're someone who's in your like 40s or 50s and you're still toned and ripped, but you're not as good as you were in your 20s, don't hate yourself, because I've literally met so many athletes who are like way past their prime, who are like 3 times as strong as I am and 3 times as fast, and they're in their 40s and 50s. And so it's just I tell people, you're a lot better off than you think you are. I understand it sucks if you're not as fast or you're not as good as you used to be, but keep in mind that there's a lot of people out there in the world too who have serious disabilities and health issues that hinder them from any type of fitness. And so if you're someone who's big, strong, and fast, you have it better off than a huge percent of people. You have it better than people who have physical disabilities, and you have it better than people who don't care at all about their health and fitness. So that's just kind of a inspiration video that I wanted to give to, I guess, the older fitness person. Thank you, and everyone have a great day.